Coliseum in Oakland, our tribute to the coach, the John Madden Legacy Game. I'm Brandon Gaudin here to take you through the proceedings, and coming up, we're going to tell this. One time for old times. What do you say we play some football as we are underway from Oakland in the John Madden Legacy Game. Here comes Devin Hester bringing it out. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15. So it's the NFC stars who will get the ball first. And Charles, as we alluded to, we've got a different era of coach on each sideline. So the man coaching this NFC squad, we'll call him Young John Madden. This is a coach who was trying to establish a foothold in the NFL and on the cusp of doing it very successfully.
Yeah, you think back to that period, those early days as the coach of the Raiders, the late 60s in the AFL and then in the NFL in the early 70s. Coach was a guy who was ahead of his time. The Raiders were one of the first teams to have mini camps, one of the first to film practice, because he wanted to practice coaching as much as he could. And his teams, they were successful right from the start of his head coaching tenure.
They'll try and run for it with Sanders. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That one a 14-yard play, and it keeps this drive moving. From the gun, it's Favre. He's going to float this one deep right side. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So as we mentioned at the top, well, let's take you through the life of John Madden. And, you know, it's very fitting that we're here back in the Bay Area, not just because John's so associated with Raider football, but also because this was where he spent his formative years.
Yeah, he grew up over Daly City with his buddy John Robinson, who would also become an NFL head coach. He played his high school ball at Jefferson High, eventually wound up playing tackle at the University of Oregon, and later Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Played well enough that in 1958, he was a 21st round draft pick of the Philadelphia Eagles. That's right, they drafted 30 rounds then.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Now Favre. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. Charles, you mentioned Coach was a 21st round draft pick back in 1958. Was the Philadelphia Eagles who selected him. But unfortunately for John, knee problems, they just continued to dog him. He was hurt in his first training camp. Actually never saw the field as a player in the NFL. But it was still during his time with the Eagles, you and I were talking about this before going on air, that you could start to see the light bulb going on for what his career path might entail. And it went on in a big way, didn't it? Because while he was rehabbing his knee, he started to spend a lot of time breaking down film with the Eagles, with quarterback Norm Van Brocklin, the future Hall of Famer and future head coach in the NFL. Remember, Norm Van Brocklin coached with the Falcons, he coached with the Vikings. And was there during that time. I think Coach Madden realized his love of football and love for teaching, combining all that together, and that meant being a football coach. So in 1960, began his coaching career at a small college south of San Luis Obispo called Allen Hancock, and then later at San Diego State University under another legendary coach, the guy that could throw it around pretty well, Don Coryell. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. So we're through one at the Coliseum in Oakland. 0-0 our score. This is the John Madden Legacy Game. The NFC with the football here to begin the second quarter as they go to work on a 1st and goal. From the shotgun, it's Favre. Eluding, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Javon Curse. What a play by him. That's going to go as a loss of 13.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, it took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, it still definitely hurts.
It's a 2nd down run with Sanders. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. From the 5-yard line, will this opening drive yield 6? This is 3rd and goal. Throwing is Favre. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete. Now Morton Anderson for the field goal try. From the right hash, and this one just a chipping. Anderson's kick is good. And the NFC out to an early 3-0 lead. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. So, Charles, as mentioned, we've got another Coach Madden over here on the AFC sideline. Of course, his Raiders, members of the AFC West. So this is a conference he battled in for his entire career. And you think about the landscape of the NFL as he was getting into the back half of his tenure. It was a golden era for coaches. You had Don Shula, Tom Landry, Chuck Noll, Bud Grant. But it was John Madden who had the best winning percentage of them all, CD. 759, the best ever.
Brandon, it's hard to believe he could be so successful in the conference with all those great teams. The Steelers won 4 Super Bowls. The Dolphins won 2 and were a mainstay in the playoffs. The Colts were tough. The Broncos came on late and went to a Super Bowl themselves. But against Hall of Fame coaches, John Madden's record, 36, 16, and 2. That's pretty incredible. His Raiders were a factor each and every year.
2 minutes remain here in the first half of the John Madden Legacy Game. We'll be back. 3 yards remain for second down. They'll run with Allen. And some space here. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. And Charles, you know, it was in the early 1960s that a young John Madden made the acquaintance of the owner of the Oakland Raiders, one Al Davis, of course. And the two, they really bonded, would become one of the best owner-coach duos in NFL history. And to take it a step further, Al Davis became someone who John referred to as his best friend.
Yeah, 1967, Brandon. Al Davis hired Coach Madden to be a linebackers coach. Remember, this was still the AFL at that point. We had not merged totally with the NFL. And Coach Madden, he paid dividends almost immediately. Helped the Raiders win the AFL title in 1968. And that meant a date with the Green Bay Packers in what was now known as Super Bowl II. But by 1969, at the age of 32, just 32, Brandon, John Madden assumed the mantle of head coach of the Oakland Raiders. And what a ride he, the Raiders, in the NFL were about to go on.
Quick throw, knocked away, and incomplete.
Gotta give some credit there, able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and get some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4. Snap comes at 1, and it's Brady. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Now the NFC going to call the first of their 3 timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. And Vinatieri's kick is good. And that will tie us at 3-3. So matching field goals on our opening 2 drives.
Yeah, it feels like 2 boxers feeling each other out here in the early going of the game, right? Exchanging some jabs, but none of the heavy stuff just yet.
Each team with a possession, each team with a field goal as the kick is away. And Hester content to hold on to this one and bring it out to the 25. But the NFC offense coming out here. And you know, Charles, Coach Madden always said that if he had one drive to win a game and he had to pick a quarterback, he would pick Kenny Stabler. But I think if you asked him to omit any of his Raiders players, there's a good chance the guy he'd select would be Brett Favre.
Brett Favre is always smiling. He's always laughing. He's always talking to someone. He remembers that it's a game. And if it's a game, you should have fun.
And Brandon, that always reminds me of a great movie line where one of the players was telling a coach, every time I say it's a game, you say it's a business. And every time I say it's a business, you say it's a game. With Coach, it was always a game.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Favre. Being chased out left. He'll get just a yard on the scramble at 2nd down. Now the NFC going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Here's Favre to throw. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. To throw is Favre. Man open, it's Cup. He's got it. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Coming up in the second half, we'll run through John's post-coaching triumphs. But for now, we present a special tribute to the man of the hour, narrated by the Raiders' own Trey Mosley. Boy, Charles, yeah, that is really well done. Coach was something else, wasn't he?
I'm reminded what Al Davis said when he was inducted coach of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Brandon. He loved the game. He loved his team. He loved the Raiders. He loved this league. And you can see it with everything he does.
No doubt. But it's quite possible, though, that now he would say, hey, enough of that. Let's play some football. Well, the second half forthcoming from Oakland. On 1st and 10, here's Brady. Well, that's complete to the fullback, Ricard. So now, Charles, to pick up the story we've been telling, John Madden at 42. He just completed a 10-year stint as the coach of the Raiders. He wants to step away a bit from the grind of coaching, but he doesn't want to step away from the game of football. So he ends up signing on with CBS in 1979 to try his hand at broadcasting. And much like his coaching career, he was pretty much an instant success.
Partner, he really connected with the people right from the start, and people may not remember, he wasn't even on the #1 team in the beginning. He worked his way up. But the same things that made him a great coach made him a great broadcaster. The ability to show the big picture, yet break it down into the details. That's what he did with his teams. That's what he did with the people. That way, he was simple to understand, yet insightful for viewers. And he did with that big personality that he had, one that connected with everyone.
Here's Hester. That'll go as a 46-yard punt with a return of 7. And the NFC will take over 1st and 10. The NFC heading back out. Hall of Famer Randy Moss a part of this offense. And Coach Madden, boy, he always appreciated the ferociousness with which number 84 attacked the football in the air.
As Randy Moss says, just chunk it up there, dog, and I'll go get it.
And, Coach, boy, did he ever go get it. Over 15,000 receiving yards, 156 touchdowns. And how about this? From his rookie year of 1998 until 2009, those were his prime seasons, right? He led the league in touchdowns 5 times, but even more so, he showed us all how to go up and get it. Great body control. No one's ever done it better playing the ball in the air.
Right back to Sanders on 1st down. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 70 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. So for Coach Madden, Charles, here by 1981, his broadcasting career is really taking off. He's elevated to the network's #1 booth that calls all the big matchups. And he gets the plum assignment of calling Super Bowl 16, 49ers and Bengals, and he's teamed up with Pat Summerall. And that pairing ultimately would go on to be one of the most influential in sports broadcasting history.
Influential not just in us listening to them. Remember, they went on and called 8 Super Bowls together. but how they put together kind of the template that all of us broadcasters follow now. Sitting down with the head coaches and the quarterbacks and the stars of each team before a ball game to get extra information. And the way that those two paired together, Pat Summerall, short, concise, to the point, and turned it over to Coach Madden to fill in all the big details.
In for the sack, Myles Garrett. 3 quarters have come and gone at the Coliseum of Oakland. Back now here on EA Sports. It's been a tight, low-scoring affair thus far. 3-3 is our score heading into the 4th. Anderson's kick is good, and they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals at 6-3. We still wait on the first touchdown of the game, but a second field goal now makes it a 6-3 score.
Yeah, I know a lot of people would call this the definition of winning ugly. To me, this is gorgeous. I'm a defender, right? I love these kind of games. The tension is high. Who's going to make the play to win it? And right now, that field goal may be the advantage they need.
And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. And the AFC offense heading back out. You know, Charles, Coach really loved to utilize his tight ends in the passing game. You think about Dave Casper, Hall of Famer for those great Raider teams. And I think he saw a lot of Dave Casper in an all-Madden staple, Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez is the type of tight end I think everyone's looking for. He's a guy that can make some big plays from that tight end position. Let me tell you, you better make sure you have him accounted for on every play.
And that's exactly right, because Dave Casper, he can shred defenses down the middle of the field. And that's exactly what Tony Gonzalez did in his entire career. A 14-time Pro Bowl selection. Only Tom Brady has more. There are 6 guys in the 15,000-yard receiving club. He's the only tight end in there. Tony Gonzalez, every snap you had to know where he was because he could make plays short, medium, and long, and often put the ball in the end zone.
And now a pass dumped off to his running back. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. As you mentioned, CD, talking about John Madden, the broadcaster, he called 8 Super Bowls with Pat Summerall, 3 more with Al Michaels later in his career. He spent nearly 3 decades in the booth all told. And not only was he beloved for his mannerisms, we know that, but he was an innovator as well. Yeah, Brandon, you talk about things like the telestrator, which totally became identified with him, and now it's a staple for all analysts to have in the booth. And then you think about things like turducken on Thanksgiving, when he used words like boom and pow. He helped create the All-Madden team. He's a very popular commercial pitchman. And even the Madden Cruiser was unique, and you had to be someone to get a ride on it, too. And he will be brought down, but a 1st and goal coming up as we have come upon the 2-minute warning. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. Now Allen. And he is into the end zone for an AFC touchdown. Marcus Allen. A 5-yard touchdown run. And the AFC is in for 6. They get one more as the extra point's up and good, and that will make this a 4-point game. And there's been a Terry now to kick it away after the touchdown. Hester going to decide against a return, and they will spot this at the 25. The offense for the NFC ready to get their next drive started. Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone. And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out. Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well. Now a desperation throw deep downfield, and it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. They're going on 4th down. It's Favre. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football, and gets a sack and a turnover on downs. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. Brady to throw. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. Back to throw. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Derwin James with a pick. And they're going to get the football just outside the 10 at the 11-yard line. Well, you knew you had to take some chances here with the clock winding down, needing a touchdown to win it, and that one might have just sealed their fate.
Yeah, and that's the nature of the 2-minute drill. The offense trying to go downfield and make their plays. But defenses, they're sitting back watching everything that they do, but not too far back. They want to be in position to make a play on the ball, and that they did.
Now 2nd and 5. Snap will come from the 6. Up the middle they run with Bettis. And he will take this in for an AFC touchdown. Jerome Bettis, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the AFC takes advantage of the interception, and they turn it into 6. Vinatieri able to tack on the PAT, and that pushes the lead up to 11. And here's Vinatieri now to kick it away after the touchdown. And Hester content to hold on to this one and bring it out to the 25. Ready to begin their next drive here, the NFC offense. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back in the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball.
You know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes, get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. They'll throw on 1st down with Favre. Completes it to the tight end, Kittle. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. Now another timeout called for by the offense, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. On 2nd down, Favre. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And I think the AFC came up with that. They did. AFC football.
Well, that drive wasn't a case of wanting to put points on the board. It was needing to, having to, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah, didn't get it done, and now you look at the situation and the point differential, 2 scores, pretty much game, set, match.
How about the takeaway then, huh? How about those defensive guys?
Now the NFC going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game. And they will take a knee here. Well, this has certainly been special. And, Charles, as we wind down toward the end of this John Madden Legacy Game, your final thoughts?
Well, let's face it, partner, it's going to be hard to overestimate the impact that he made, not just on the sport of football, but on his family, friends, players, co-workers, and in the lives of millions of Americans who watched him. So it's a win here for the AFC on an incredible afternoon of football and remembering the life of John Madden. Before we go, one final message, and for all of us at EA Sports, this one's for you, Coach.